Well, I joined the OABA in 1990, and of course at Bally's and then later on at Paris, and the fun we had in Las Vegas, as you know, the entertainment capital of the world, and everything went on. We had some great times there. We did back, I think, when Jeannie McDonough was chair of the OABA. I believe we had a meeting here in San Antonio. We were on the Riverwalk, had the party boat and everything, and enjoyed it. I think that was like, what, maybe 5, 6 years ago. And it's a great, great town. I love being here. And so far as convenience, I know there was some concern about moving out of Las Vegas and coming here. But actually, in the last couple of days of being here and experience, everything is pretty, it's tight. Everything is right here. And so it's worked out really well. And I think they made a good choice to move here. And I've heard a lot of good compliments on the last couple of days about what I just said. They see it's a little more convenient. So I think it was a good move. Prior to going to Las Vegas with the OABA, when I was at Channel 11 in Minneapolis, at we had broadcast seminars and broadcast meetings in Las Vegas, and then later on, when I was with the WWE Wrestling, we actually did with Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura. We did live wrestling matches at the in Las Vegas.
Did you have contact with the great one at one time in your life, Muhammad Ali?
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was with the AWA Wrestling, uh, Vern Gagne and Vince McMahon from the WWE had a promotion wrestler versus boxer. They always like, who could do whatever. So Vince and Vern Gagne put together a pay-per-view program featuring Muhammad Ali against Antonio Inoki, the Japanese champion wrestler. And it was it was New York. Andre the Giant wrestled a boxer named Chuck Wepner. Then we had the second phase of the pay-per-view was in Chicago with Greg Gagne, Jim Renzel, and the tag team. And then the main event was in Japan. And we brought Muhammad Ali into Chicago at the amphitheater to do some promos, to promote the event coming up. And then Vince McMahon used it on his wrestling network, and we used it on the AWA. And I was directing at the time, so I was in Chicago, and here comes Muhammad Ali. It was great, like in a movie set. The big three limos pull up, and the guys get out, and looking around and whatever. And comes Muhammad, and he was a great wrestling fan. He loved wrestling. And so he came into the locker room, and he was in there for at least an hour, cutting it up with all the wrestlers and having a great time. And then we did the promos with him. And about 2 weeks later, my wife and I were in Las Vegas, and we were at a lounge show, and help me out. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill.
Chuck Berry or one of those guys?
No,
Or-
Fats Domino?
Okay, maybe. I don't think so. Go
No.
ahead.
Anyway, we were at the lounge show, and they turned on the lights and introduced. There was Muhammad Ali and his entourage sitting behind my wife and I. And so I turn around, and Muhammad's advance man said, "Oh, hey, yeah, Al, we were just, whatever." And he said, "Hey," he said, "why don't you come on up to our suite and, have a cocktail and whatever." So I said, "Okay, good." So my wife and I went up to Muhammad's suite, and there he was behind the bar, making drinks for everybody. And we had the chance to talk a little bit about the promotion, and he coming to Chicago to do the promos, and so that was a good deal. Great guy. I wish I would have had him do an autograph, but I spent what with wrestling and TV and doing sports and whatever. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of sports people, and just didn't get an autograph. Nobody thought I directed the Minnesota Twins baseball for 7 years, and sat in the broadcast booth with all the visiting announcers that came in, and I would, part of my job as producer at the end of the game, I would go down at the old Met, bring up the player of the day, be it visitor or a Twins, come up the elevator. All of it I had to do is get you could get an autograph. Never got one autograph in 7 years. But I worked with Harmon Killebrew and Halsey Hall and Ray Scott and Herb Carneal, all the greats with the Twins. So that was kind of fun. But that night with Muhammad was fun. We had a good time. I didn't overstay my welcome. Maybe a half hour or so and whatever, and then got out of there.
In Las Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah. But as I said earlier, we did live wrestling promotions in Las Vegas, like with Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura, and what have you. So that was kind of fun too. I was born and raised in St. Paul, on what they call the West Side Flats along the Mississippi River. And in 1943, during the war, it was tough, in the carnival business or any business to get gasoline and tires and, whatever you needed with the rations going on. So a carnival bassinet shows, Pop Bassinet, came to the Harriet Island in St. Paul and set up, opened it up kind of like a theme park, if you will, all summer. And I lived about a block or so away, and I came from a family of 11 kids. And whenever you had an opportunity to make a buck, you would do it. And my two brothers and a couple of my sisters went over to the Harriet Island on the bassinet shows, and my first job was picking up balls in the milk bottle joint, and stayed. We played 43 and 44, and then when the war ended in 45, I went out on the road with Magel's concessions. We had 5 or 6, 7 stick joints, a balloon store, a court gallery, pitch deal in, and we kind of hopscotched around. And I stayed on the road until 1953. Well, I was fortunate enough to get a job at the television station, which came on the air in 53. Went to work as a mail boy and stayed there for 21 years. And in 1989, Raleigh Larson, who was the president of the OABA at the time, wanted to do a video on the OABA's 25th anniversary. And the program was called Bright Lights and Fair Nights. We videotaped it or filmed it at that time at the Minnesota State Fair. Raleigh asked me, because of my production background, if I would, produce the video. And so that's how I met Raleigh. And then in 1990, he hired me into the OABA, and I've been there for 30 years. It's been well, I don't have to tell anybody that's in the business what a blessing, what a privilege, what a life to be in the carnival business. So you can go on and on. I love it. There's nothing better than the carnival and fair industry, and I still love it.